Good morning, friends. This is Julie Golding-Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in beautiful St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scudig or St. Croix River, the traditional territory and unceded land of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm so grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. I'm a Silver Elite demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for a couple of years and been using Stampin' Up! Products for probably about 15 years or so, and I really love their stuff. What actually hooked me on Stampin' Up! First was their adhesives, because they have such great adhesives that don't dry out and they work really, really well. So today I'm going to show you a project. And before I get to the project, I want to show you some of my specials as well, but let's get a little glimpse of that project first. So I'm just going to flip my phone so we can see. All right. So here is the project that we're going to be working on today. So it uses some new product out of the brand new annual catalog that went live about a week ago. And it uses this beautiful Cheerful Daisies stamp set and the dies that go with it as well. So we will get to that very, very soon. But for now, I'm just going to move these things out of the way so I can show you a few of the specials and events that I have coming up, in case you would like to be part of my crafting community, which stretches all the way across Canada, from Labrador to Alberta currently. I don't have anybody in BC who joins at the moment, but that would be lovely. I used to live in BC, and I would love to have some people from the West Coast join us as well. Okay, so first of all, I have this anniversary special. So on May 5th, I celebrated my second anniversary as a demonstrator. So that was just in the past week, a few days ago. And I also, on May 6th, celebrated with my husband our 29th wedding anniversary. So it was just a whole anniversary weekend for us. And to bring everybody else into the celebrations, I'm offering this anniversary special. So receive a free card class with any current product order that you place with me, any online class sign up, and I'll show you some sneak peeks from those in a couple of minutes, or any color club sign up. And this is on through May the 12th. So that is this Friday. So there's still a little bit of time to take advantage of that. And I would love to gift you with a fun packet to do a free card class, and I'll provide all the instructions for you as well. It may not be exactly like the picture here. It may be different, but then again, it might be exactly what you see here. It will be kind of a surprise. So if you'd like to take advantage of my second anniversary special and get your free card class, here's how you can contact me online. You can find me at www.juliescraftaddict.com. So that's my blog. It's got links to my online shop with Stampin' Up! It's got online classes there. It's got some information about me as well, because I know when you meet people on the internet, sometimes you wonder, who am I really talking to? So it's helpful to kind of just get a sense of who the person is. So a little bit of information about me is there as well. And you can also take advantage of my host code for May. So this is my host code that you enter into your orders on the online store. I will have a link with that already added right here on this same post that you're watching right now. I will be putting that up by about lunchtime, 1 p.m. or so Atlantic time, so it won't take me too long to get it up there. And I'll have links to all the things that we're talking about today as well. All right. And in case you're wondering what a color club is, well, just recently with this brand new catalog that we have that just came out, Stampin' Up! Refreshed all of their colors. And so we have 16 brand new colors. That's 1/6. That's a lot of new colors. And it can be quite an investment to try to get all these new colors that match all the new papers and everything that you see in the catalog. And so what I've done is create these color clubs so you can collect the new colors on a budget. So over 5 months, and then you're done with the club, you can join the core color club and get 10 new colors in total, or 2 per month. Or you can join the In Color Club, which is 5 new colors and 1 per month. And I also include some other things. Like in the In Color Club, you also get this Stampin' Blends alcohol marker, that our marker set rather, that matches the color of the month. You'll get some paper that coordinates as well. And the same thing for the Core Color Club, you'll get some papers as well as your 2 ink pads per month. So if you're interested in that, again, go to www.juliescraftaddict.com and just click on the tab that says Color Clubs. And just a reminder that if you sign up for a color club by May the 12th, that's the end of May 12th, which is this Friday, you'll also get a free card class from me. And I'd be very happy to gift you something fun that you can do on the weekend or over the summer or whenever. Okay, so next let's talk about classes and then we'll get on to our project. So first of all, Stampin' Up! Has just released a brand new kit, and this is an exciting kit. I have to say this is my favorite kit I've seen from them in a long time because it is shaker cards. So look at that. You see how there's all these little shaker bits inside the cards? And they're promising that this is a pretty easy thing to put together. So you can put fairly simple shaker cards together and amaze your friends and family when you give them a lovely birthday card with shaker details. So I'm offering a class where we can just do this together in community. The cost of the class is simply the cost of buying the kit and getting it shipped to you. That's it. And we're going to be doing that in June. So if you want to look at that, again, go to www.juliescraftaddict.com and click on online classes. Another online class I'm going to be offering is this Fun Folds. So I like to do a Christmas in July class. I did this last year and it was quite fun to do in the middle of summer when it's really hot outside and then you get to think about Christmas stuff. So here's one of my fun folds that we're going to be doing. So I'll just take this apart so you can see. So it's got this band on there and then you can open it up like that. And you can take out your little message paper. So you could stamp other things on there too as well if you want. And this uses some new papers from the brand new catalog. So I'll just put that aside for now. And it uses this stamp set, which is Ringed with Nature. And I really like this one because it can be for any time of year, not just for Christmas, but it does have some Christmas greetings and it has the poinsettias as well and some other greenery that would be perfect for Christmas cards. So that's another class that's coming up. And again, go to www.juliescraftaddict.com to find out more. And the final class that I have out right now, here's a sneak peek from it. And this uses the brand new Beautiful Balloons bundle from the new catalog and the Bright and Beautiful DSP. And isn't that Bright and Beautiful DSP gorgeous? It uses all new colors. So you're seeing ones like Bubble Bath, that's this pink. You're seeing Azure Afternoon, Lemon Lime Twist. The blue ink that we're going to be using is Blueberry Bushel. And the paper is fantastic. I really like this. I've been working a lot with this bundle. And if you follow my blog, I've been posting a lot of designs with this bundle as well because I think it's so fun. I just love the colors. It's giving me all kinds of ways to use these brand new colors that we have. So look at these lovely, lovely papers. Aren't they fantastic? I just like them so much. Oh, and I see some people have signed on and are watching. I'd love to hear where you're watching from and how you heard about me. I would just be happy to get to know you better. All right. And here's the Beautiful Balloon stamp set, just to give you a glimpse of that. And the dies are really fun to work with too. So that's another class that's coming up. But without further ado, let's move on and go to our project. So this project is using another stamp set that is brand new and some dies that are brand new. So it's the Cheerful Daisies stamp set. And I just think this is really, really nice. I love daisies. They are really super cheerful. And that's one of the reasons that I find them to be so appealing. Here's the dies too. So you can see there's so many possibilities, and I really like that they involved a label here. So they include a label with your stamp set, which is really, really nice. So we've got those to work with today. And I think what we'll start with, though, is we will start by doing the very simple part first, and that is stamping on this piece of, what's it called? Crumb cake. Yeah, I had to think about that for a minute. So it's crumb cake. That's what we're going to use. So you need a piece of cardboard underneath before you start your stamping. Oh, sorry, we can't stamp yet, can we? No, we've got to cut it out. I have to start with die cutting. Usually I start with stamping, but on this card you need die cutting first. So I'm going to use this nice little mini machine, which is now available in boho blue as well as white for a limited time. I do not have the boho blue one, but I'm envious of people who do because it's really, really nice. They've never had one in a color before. So if you've never watched how to use one of these machines before or never tried one, they come with full instructions. So it says place die cutting edge down, and then you have a plate number 1 on the bottom. There it is. You have 2 plates number 2, and you sandwich in between them your die and your paper. So there's plate number 1. Here's a plate number 2. Doesn't matter which side, you can use either side. And I'm going to need my paper. There it is, my crumb cake rectangle. And what we're going to do is use these stylish shapes dies. And I'm going to use the longest label. So let's get those out. Now I have used these stylish shapes dies with all the circles and all of the either diamonds or squares and the labels so much. They are not new in this catalog. They've been around for a while, but oh, super useful. I just really, really like them. So here we go. So you just sandwich the things between there and you start cranking with your hand. Oh, hi, Kathy. Lovely you can make it today. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really nice, sunny, and warm day here. It's supposed to be up to 18. The last day or so, it's been kind of cool. It was really, really unseasonably warm here, and then it got really cool. And then my hands started to crack again because it was so cool outside. So I'm hoping that will fix. So please excuse the bad look of my hands today because they're dry. And I'm hoping that the weather will fix that very soon. Okay, so here we go. There is our lovely little label. So now we can go ahead and we can stamp on that. So let's do that next. And I'm just going to move my plates out of the way here and my dies and stuff. And we'll move on to that. Okay, so the die cut us this lovely label, and what we're going to do is we're going to stamp on it in one of the new colors. And the new color we're going to use is Pretty Peacock. So here is Pretty Peacock. It's this beautiful, deep, kind of blue-green. I don't know if you can really see that. But if you have a catalog, you can look it up in the colors. And if you need a catalog, let me know. Just go to www.juliescraftaddict.com. Sorry about that. Is everybody still there? Maybe you can leave me a comment and let me know if you're still there. They just had an emergency alert test here in New Brunswick, so that's what happened there. So please leave me a comment if you can still hear me, because I know that sometimes those kinds of alerts end our Facebook Lives. So just leave me a message if you can, just to say that you can still see and hear me after that big alert. I'm really sorry for that big noise, but they do have to test these systems from time to time. Okay, so let's see. Nobody is commenting, so I don't know if you can still hear me or not. I hope so. Let's see. So, who is there? Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, wonderful. A couple of people have come to the rescue. Thank you. Oh, to my mom, and thank you, Linda, as well. I really appreciate that. Because I've had it happen before that I've received a call in the middle of one of these broadcasts, and it totally kills my feed. And then nobody can hear me afterwards. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. What I did with this one was I cut off the edge. So let's just grab the paper trimmer and we'll cut off the edge there. So I just have this lovely Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. I'm just going to show you, there's the Stampin' Up! Symbol. These are pretty inexpensive, and the blades are really good on them. When I got one, I thought, sometimes these blades are not the best, but actually this one I found is really, really nice, and it's been very sharp, and so I've been very happy with that. I've tried many kinds of trimmers, and yeah, I was just pleasantly surprised with this one about how well it works. So there you go, it gives you a nice crisp edge there. Okay, and now we can do our stamping next. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to use Pretty Peacock, like I mentioned. And we're going to use for a sentiment, your friendship means everything. But the other ones would fit on here as well, so you could use any of them you like. This has got several different sentiments. You made my day, oops a daisy, so sorry, wishing you the brightest birthday. I think that would get a lot of use for many people. So you can just choose what you want to put on there. Okay, so let's make sure we got it right side up before we do this. Okay, and I like to test mine out. So I've got my cardboard out because these are photopolymer stamps. They don't come with a built-in cushion like the red rubber ones do with foam inside them. So you have to have a cushion underneath. And that is a really good tip because I know when I first got photopolymer stamps, I thought that they were garbage because I couldn't get them to stamp. And then I found out there's a couple of keys to getting them to stamp nicely. So you can see that did a really nice job. The first is when you get a new stamp, you need to condition it. It comes with a bit of a residue left from the factory and the process to make it. So you just kind of do this with your fingers. You can stamp it on your arm and the oils in your skin will get that off. You can also use Versamark ink if you want and stamp it into that a few times. That also works really well. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is to have a cushion underneath so that it does have a way to kind of get the stamp and the ink right into the paper rather than just remain up on the top of it. And so that helps a lot and it makes them stamp so much better. All right. So I'm going to put that back in. And now we've got our stamping all done. That is the only stamping we're doing in this whole project. But we are going to play with some ink and some blending brushes. Is anybody who's watching a fan of blending brushes? Because I know some people have had a lot of experience with them and others not as much. But I really like them. They create such an interesting look. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a paper underneath here. And I'm going to get out this paper and we're going to use it. This is one of the online exclusives. I'm trying to remember what is the name of this paper. I'll just go check. So, okay, here it is. So this paper from the online exclusives is called Naturally Gilded. And you get 6 sheets of it. Let me open it up and I'll show you the different colors. So you get this one that's kind of an ivory or very vanilla in the background and has the gold on the front. You also get a couple of sheets of this one, which is a white background, and it's got silver. It almost looks like birches. And you get a third one, which is also white, and it's got a copper foil to it. So these are really nice, and they can be used on so many different kinds of projects. As you can see here, I combined them with something new from the brand new catalog. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our blending brushes and turn this ivory or vanilla background into this variegated colored background. And it's very simple. So I like things like that have a big impact but are really easy. I'm all for that. So we're going to use Lost Lagoon. So here's our Lost Lagoon ink. And we're also going to use Moody Mauve or or mauve. It seems like some parts of the continent call it mauve and others mauve. Well, where I live, it's called mauve. So I'll just say mauve, but you can translate for your own context there too. Love this card. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you like this one. Yeah, I just wanted to try this blending brush technique on this paper because it works so well with it. And I'm using it in another entirely different set for a class that I'm going to be teaching later this month. So I'm just tapping off a bit because we don't want it to be too intense when we start here. We want it to have some good color, but we don't want it to make these big blobs. So let's see if we can get it to go kind of subtly on the bottom here. So here we go. So I'm pressing a little bit, but not too hard, because you can always add more ink, but you can't take it off once it's on there. So I'm just kind of giving it a very, very light hand at this point, but you can see there it is. It's actually making this beautiful Lost Lagoon color on there. And I'm just doing circles. So I'm starting off the edge and then coming on to the paper and just making circles over and over again. That's all I'm doing. So anybody can do this. It's very, very simple. And whether you like it with a lot of color or just a little color, it will turn out so beautifully with very little practice and little effort. So there, you can see now I'm getting some good color on there. And that's probably enough of that one, I think. Let's use the mauve or mauve next. So let's see what we can do with that one. So that, I gotta tap that off because that's quite dark there. Yeah, we don't want those big blobs. That's not gonna be good. So you might wanna try it out. Try out your blending brush just on your scrap paper first, especially if your ink pad is brand new like mine are. So with these colors, they're all brand new and they just have so much ink in them, eager to get onto the paper, that they can be quite blobby if you kind of do this sort of blending technique. So it's a good idea to just check them out. Okay, so let's try this. Oh, good morning, Ruby. Let's see how this turns out. All right, so can you see how that color is all kind of coming together there? And I'm blending them a little bit in the middle. You can also make some parts darker, some parts lighter. It really doesn't matter because the whole thing will look great when you're done anyway. So there's what I've got. Okay, and I think that's good enough. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't want too much color on there, but I think I've got enough as it is now. So I'm just going to close up my ink pads since these are so juicy. If I touched either of them by mistake, I would have ink everywhere. So there we go. And I'm just going to move this so you can see my paper a little bit better. So very, very simple that was. And now I'm going to take a panel of this Moody Mauve, or Moody Mauve as you prefer. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I will be putting this whole project with full instructions on my website later today on the blog portion. And so all you've got to do is come back to this post and look for it, or you can go directly to juliescraftaddict.com and it will be right there for you. So I don't usually include the instructions in terms of, the measurements when I do my videos, because I do include them on my blog later. So all you got to do is just go find them there. All right, let's see if I can get that relatively straight there. Okay, perfect. All right, and I think I'll go ahead and add it to my card base. And what I went with, because there's so much gold in this, and then I went with gold on the flowers as well, I went with this crumb cake. And crumb cake actually, as an ink, almost looks gold when you use it. And so I find that it's a really helpful color to work with when you have gold. And it's also kind of an earthy color that goes with the daisies, I think. So I really like that. Okay, so let's put some dimensionals on the back here. I I love these things. These are one of the first things that drew me to Stampin' Up! Was these lovely little dimensionals because they work so well. They come in a couple of sizes and you get a whole bunch of them. You get 300 of this size for $6, so they're not expensive. And we use them around the house for other projects and for my daughter's school things. Like, they're just really good. I like them so much. Okay, so let's put this onto our card base. I'll try to get right over top of it and center it as much as I can. All right. Okay, so I've got that all done. And now what we got to do is get all these little pieces cut out. Okay, so we'll have to cut out the centers, the stems, the two parts of each daisy. So let's get out our die cut machine again, and we will do all of that right now. So very little stamping in this particular project, but there is some die cutting to do. So again, we're going to put our plate number 1 on the bottom, then one of our plates number 2. And here's a tip for you. Keep one of your plates always for the top. If you do that, it will not get such deep cuts in it like this. And those cuts can actually transfer into your images that you're cutting out. So just keep the same one for the bottom and a different one for the top. You can see it's much clearer and it tends to work better. You can buy replacement plates too, which is sometimes the solution. So it just depends on how old they are and how much use they've had. So I'm using this gold foil that you can get from Stampin' Up. I'm using crushed curry. That's what this is. And I'm using some early espresso. So some really nice earthy colors for this one. So let's cut out some of the things from our dies. And again, these are the Cheerful Daisy dies. So we'll put one in there. I think we can probably cut out a couple of things at the same time here. I'll just put that a little clearer so you can see it. And we'll want this little piece to put on top of the daisy. So the daisy outline and then the piece for on top. And then out of early espresso, we will want our stem and our center. So when I send out kits for people to, or packets rather, class packets, I cut out all the die cuts like this for you in your class packets. And different people have said, oh my goodness, that must take so long. But this is how I do it. I try to plan my cards so I can cut multiple pieces at once. And then that way it doesn't take you all day to actually do this. So there's a tip. You can just kind of cut multiple items at the same time. And that'll save you a lot of time in terms of your die cutting, rather than cutting just one item at a time, which does take a long time. All right, so let's see how this turns out. And then we'll go ahead and we'll cut another set of everything. Okay, so there's our little daisy. There's our top of our daisy. And then we'll need our center. There it is. And our stem. Okay, so we're going to turn around and do that same thing over again. So we'll have a second daisy. I'll just discard those in the bin. What did we ever do before we had recycle bins? We must have thrown away so much stuff. I'm happy to have recycling now, so we don't have to do that so much anymore. Okay, so let's get these all in. Okay. Has anybody tried this bundle? Let me know if you have. I'm finding it really a lot of fun, and there's so many different things to do with it. This card is completely unlike any of the other cards that I've made with it. So I just got this idea that I wanted to do some blending brush work, and so I made something completely different today. And the colors too. I haven't made anything with colors like this. So it's really nice because you can do so many different things with it. Okay, so there's the rest of our die cutting done. Let's get this out of here. Okay. And here's another thing I like to do. I buy these little magnetic sheets at dollar stores. Great Canadian has them. And then I'm able to just put all of my dies on there, and it keeps them very, very nicely. And I find that a really nice way to kind of store them, as well as to know that they're not going astray while you're cutting things too. Okay, so that one came out all right. Okay, so let's take away all these pieces out of the way. All my dies are back on there, that's good. I'll take my plates away. And now what we need to do is assemble the rest of this. So we've got our card base and all those pieces. Now here's a look at my sample card again. So what I did first was I put the stem on. So let's see. So I kind of had it at an angle there. And all I did to put the stem on was took a little piece of regular tape, just household tape, and stuck that on. I find that a really good hack. It'll keep it, and tapes nowadays are pretty much all acid-free, so they'll last too. So there's that one. Now we can layer on the little elements there. So let's move that. And we're going to take one of the centers, which is, again, the Early Espresso. And I'm going to use my mini glue dot to put that on. So there's a dot. There we go. Maybe I'll do the other one while I'm at it, since I have two of them. And just get another glue dot. And we'll just peel it off. Make that center just a little bit different so they're not the same. And then we're going to take this overlay that I used gold foil paper to do, and I'm going to use glue dots on that too. You could use multi-purpose liquid glue if you want. That would also work very well. But I'm just going to stick on the middle of it, actually. I'm not going to stick on the whole thing. I'll just put one glue dot, and it gives it kind of a, I don't know, more of a 3D feel when there's only part of it that's stuck down. If you want the whole thing stuck down, of course, you can do that too. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just put a little glue dot there and fold it up a little bit so it's in the right spot. And we'll just stick that onto it. And we'll put one more stem on. And I'll use tape for that again. So here we go. There's the tape. Okay, now we can layer everything up. So we've got our card base right here, and we'll need our label. So we've got that stamped in our pretty peacock. There we go. And I'm going to use dimensionals to stick that on. So here we go. And I'll put it kind of in the same place toward the bottom, kind of the bottom third is where I put it before. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is layer the flowers together. So this one's kind of straight up, this one's kind of a little bit to the side. So you can just arrange them however you want them to be, really. The other one I kind of put like this. So what I did was just put one dimensional on the back there. So I'll do that again, just like I did before. So I just put a dimensional right there. And kind of had it like that. Okay. And then I put this over top. Okay, I think I need to move that over just a little. There, okay. And I put this one slightly above the other one, I guess. Just a little bit, anyway. Kind of like that. And I will use another dimensional. So there's not really any right or wrong to this. It's just where you want them to be. And the last one, I kind of did that with it. Okay, and then I took some of this lovely trim that we have, and this is called Simply Elegant Trim. So what you get is 1 spool of silver and 1 of gold. And I'm going to just open that now, and we will use the gold on this card. So it's really nice to work with. And what I did was I just tied them together, actually. So I just picked a place that I wanted to tie it. And that's what I did. So I think I made a knot so that it would stay secure. So I'll just make a knot there. And you can see I'm tying this right on the spool. I always do that because I find I waste so much less that way. I used to cut the ribbons and trims, but then I realized I was just kind of guesstimating how much I needed, and it ended up being too much most of the time. So this way, I only have to cut some off one end and waste a tiny bit off one end instead of both. So I like that much, much better. There's a little bit of a twist in there, so I'm just going to try to arrange that a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut over here. So this is my waist. From tying it on the spool, that's it. So it makes your ribbons and twine and so on just go so much farther, I find, by tying it right on the spool. Okay, so that is done. So this is really nice trim. I recommend this. I find it very, very helpful. And now all I did was I put some of these lovely embellishments on. So you can see, here's some of them. They are the 2023 to 2025 in color dots. So these are in color. So that is the Moody Mauve right there. But I think on this card, instead of that color, I think we could use this one, which is actually Wild Wheat. But I think it would look really nice on the card. So I think I'm going to do that this time. So I'm going to put the Wild Wheat on there. Oh, thank you, Linda. I'm glad you're enjoying the card. And where are you watching from today, Linda? I can't remember where you live, so I just thought I'd ask. If you don't mind telling us. If you do, that's okay too. All right. So what do you guys think? Do you like the Moody Mauve or do you like the Wild Wheat as the embellishment? From Alberta. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's much earlier there than it is here. Good for you. That's awesome. Thank you for being up early to be able to watch. All right. Anybody got a preference? What do you think? Do you like the Moody Mauve or do you like the Wild Wheat? Which color do you think goes better? And just while I give you a minute to put a comment in there, folks, I'll just remind you again that I do have a special on. So I have a free card class that I'm giving away with full instructions. If you join a color club this week by the 12th of May, or if you place an order using this host code with me, or if you sign up for an online class. So don't forget my special offer, and the full details are here at www.juliescraftaddict.com. And I'm not seeing any more comments, so I will let you guys get on with your day and say thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun interacting with you all, and I hope you have a wonderfully crafty week. Bye for now.